Hello, my beautiful friend. Welcome to episode 6 of the Journey Sessions podcast. I am thrilled to be here with you today. And this episode is intention. And I have been loving tapping in to the energy of intention and what wants to be shared with you here today. It feels so good. It's very meta, actually, because intention is one of my top values. If you know me, well, you feel this, you see this, you experience this in our relationship. I like to establish clarity and consent and share with those who I'm engaging with, like you, where I see us heading, where I feel us exploring, what I need to say or do or receive from you. I do that with myself. I do that in my relationships. I do that in my life, and I do that in my work. So intention is one of my top values. And just by bringing this here to you today, inviting you more deeply into the energy and the gifts of intention, I have just lit up. I have felt just like, oh yeah, this is so good. I feel so expansive and powerful and blessed, truly blessed. So I want to offer this to you today. I also want to share a little bit about what's going on behind the scenes. I don't think I've done much of that here. Over the course of the year, starting probably next month in April, I'm going to be rolling out my most loved, my most engaged with, and aligned programs that I've created over the last handful of years, 4 or so years. I'm rolling them out as self-study courses. They're going to be more accessible. They're going to be delivered in a way that anyone who wants to interact with the content can do so and feel supported and guided. And the first one will be Transformational Manifestation, my signature 6-week program. I've run that program and evolved that program the most over the last 3 years. It is such a powerful container. I've invited other brilliant coaches and teachers in to provide their own genius and content into this program. And I just, if you love this work, if you love me, if you love what comes through, what you receive, and especially in the journeys, this is a really incredible, valuable way to get more. These programs are all chock full of journeys, meditations, attunements, workbooks, teachings. They're a whole vibe. So I, of course, will announce and let you know when they are out, especially this next one, Transformational Manifestation. So thank you for receiving that information. And let's move in now to intention. So intention is clarity with purpose. It's born from your soul why. And this is something actually that I named in Transformational Manifestation. It's some of the first work we do is getting really clear on our soul why, because our soul reason why we do anything is really why we do it. And we need to be clear on it. And the clearer we are, the more powerfully it anchors into our body. So our intention gets to be an anchor, helping us stay oriented. So I don't think I need to explain to you how busy the world is, how many distractions there are on the daily, and how easy it is to get distracted and pulled into something that appears to be important, that our brains are telling us is for us and necessary for us to do, that perhaps in hindsight is seen just as like, oh, wow, that was a big fat distraction, right? So the clearer you are on your intention and the greater your capacity to anchor your intention into your body as energy and let it guide you, the easier it is to stay oriented and in control of where you're going. So intention drives direction. It leads you toward what is for you. It allows you to move into the transformation that is for you on your journey toward your desires, right? And you choose what's for you. That's something like step number one. Make sure that what you're choosing to be for you is actually you're choosing it. It's not, hasn't been programmed into you. You're not just going on with the masses. You're not subscribing to someone else's framework or what society or your family tells you that you should do, but it's actually what you want to do. It's for you. And you are making this choice from your own unique self, right? That nothing happens in your life without your consent, at least to the degree that you can control. We have so much more control than we think we do. And if you didn't already listen to my last podcast around boundaries, I would suggest that's a really good one to listen to. But intention really helps with this. It really helps anchor you in and guides you toward what is for you. And of course, I always ask, what do you want? Like, what do you want? What do you, your heart, your soul, what do you long for? What fuels you? What's pulling you? What, if you could do whatever you wanted, like truly wanted, like, come on, you know what I mean? Sets your soul on fire, expands you. And you know that no one would be upset or angry or disappointed. No one would get hurt. Nothing bad would happen, that you were fully capable of achieving this. What would you want? Okay, but this isn't enough. It isn't enough just to know what you want. And I know that's a big question. But beyond that, you must know why you want it. What happens when you have this? Who do you become? What else do you create? What is the impact of this? In other words, I invite you to notice what's around the corner from you living what you truly want. What else opens up? There's a whole world that is created when we go after what we truly want and we stay anchored into our intention and we live from the energy of our soul. Why? That's where we create entire new worlds. Like your world that you get to exist and create from. It's so powerful. And it's not just a gift to you, it's a gift to everyone. So it's the reason why for what you want is always greater than what you want. It becomes so fucking compelling. It becomes undeniably clear how your contribution actually impacts the world. That it's a no-brainer to create an intention around this. Like, why would you want to do anything else? Why would you let anything else take over? Why would you become distracted? I mean, we'll get more into that in a moment. I'll answer that reason why. There's a very real reason why. But we get to come back. We get to come back, anchor back in, and keep going. So knowing what energy is freed up and allowed to move when you have what you truly desire, when you're living as the person who experiences what they truly desired, all of this gets to be anchored into your intention, right? So it's thought. They're thoughts, yes. And when you anchor the energy of this thought into your body, you've brought it into the space where it can now be accessed. It becomes a knowing and a truth. It becomes your embodied intention. It guides you. It pulls you. You live from it. Okay. So, what gets in your way of this embodied, clear, soul resonant why for your desires is distraction. And I'm going to go off a little bit here on distraction for a little bit. I think it's really important, first of all, to acknowledge that all of us, everyone I know, including myself, for sure, chooses to get distracted from time to time. And I say chooses because I hang out with people and I admit to myself that there is a direct override, a conscious override of a deeper knowing when something isn't fueling you in the direction that you are heading. We admit this to ourselves. If you're not, start, please. You can still get distracted. You can still go in a direction that you don't want to go in. You can be like, oh yeah, I'm totally overriding my knowing right now and I'm going to go do this thing and it's like not the best choice. That's fine. Just admit it to yourself. Just admit it to yourself. There's nothing, that's where you get back so much of your power and your control and you can start to understand what's happening here. I'm really well practiced in this because for decades, I overrode my knowing that staying sober and not like going out and having a drink or drinks or, going to the thing, being super social, being in a loud, social, overly stimulating environment was not going to serve me. But I made that choice over and over and over again for years, overriding my knowing. And I think a lot of us do this. And let me tell you, since I stopped doing that and I listened to my body, well, first of all, I'm sober. I don't drink. I don't use drugs. I haven't done that for a long time. But I've completely cut alcohol out of my life. And I no longer participate in spaces and places that don't feel good to my nervous system. I just don't. Except I live with 3 young kids, so that that's the exception for sure. But because my intention is to be present and to be the best mother I can be with my children, I don't have room or tolerance for any other spaces and places that are loud and dysregulating because I am giving them my presence. I am allowing that there, and I have to do the work of like coming back and anchoring back in and so that I can fully show up and serve in all the ways that I serve. So I'm giving you these examples so that you understand how this can show up for you, right? So you can notice the nuanced ways that we override and make excuses for and negotiate and compromise what we know is best for us. And also when and how we do that when it actually is still in service to us because we are anchored into our intention. So what I want you to know here, like once you get to the place where you can admit to yourself and just notice like, yeah, I'm totally overriding my deeper knowing and I'm allowing myself to get distracted here, that at the core of this willingness to be distracted is an unwillingness to allow discomfort. Stay with me. You think it's the discomfort of not receiving what you want, when you want it, how you want it. So why not just go over here, right? So we have this like, most of us aren't conscious of when we're about to up level. Most of us aren't aware of like when the things are building, and we're about to move through a massive breakthrough. It's an energetic, and if you're not attuned to yourself energetically, if you're not attuned to the energetics of life and your body and how it moves, it just shows up as discomfort. And you read the discomfort, your brain, because of how it's wired, thinks that the discomfort is that, it's probably not happening because that energy's in there. The energy of your desires is in there. And it's like, yeah, it's probably not happening. So why don't I just go like sign up for this program or say yes to that invite from that person to go do that thing. I mean, it's something, right? But what it actually is the discomfort of admitting to yourself once again, as you say no to anything that doesn't resonate with you, that you are capable of receiving everything that does. So, in every opportunity that is presented to us, that is something that isn't for us, and we're choosing to override our knowing and say yes to it, thinking that, yeah, it's better than nothing, or this is good for right now, even though it's not ultimately what I want to be doing. What we're truly afraid of is the discomfort of admitting to ourselves that you have every right, responsibility, and capability of saying no to anything that isn't a fuck yes. Because every time you say no to something that isn't a fuck yes, you're saying fuck yes to what you know is coming. And it rearranges your energetic field. And I promise you that the more willing you are to be aware of this and the way distraction shows up for you, the more aligned opportunities are going to show up that you get to say yes to, and the more ease and peace you are going to experience. So it's important to know what your flavor of distraction is. What emotion fuels your decision to give a fuck it, I guess I'll do that thing, to something instead of a hell yes to your soul why, to your intention, right? So you can either feed the thing that isn't exactly or even close to what you want, or you can feed your intention in your body and build up the energetics of your soul reason for why you want what you want. It kind of is that simple, but you have to be aware. So this is what you're up against. You're up against an automatic emotional reaction that is strategically placed right when you're given an opportunity to get more clear, more aligned, and more receptive to receiving what you actually want. This is all set up beautifully as a human experience. We're going to call this a human experience of conflict within the self between your highest desired frequency, your highest self, the truth of your heart, the fullness of your soul, up against your human conditioning, your automatic programming and wiring of your brain, and this three-dimensional reality. So you just have to know how to navigate. You have to recognize, notice, be onto yourself, admit it to yourself when you're doing it, because you are human. It's okay to do the thing that you aren't a full hell yes on doing, but just notice that that's what you're doing, and notice what it creates for you, and notice what it's costing you. That's power right there. So the question I love to ask myself when I have an idea, and let me tell you, I have lots of them all the time. You know who is the greatest distraction to me? Me. I am the greatest distraction to myself. That's a whole nother layer of challenge. I have a lot of really good ideas. But I have to ask myself when I have an idea or I'm presented with an opportunity, is this direction or distraction? Does this create or take energy? And I've also learned to understand the energy of excitement really well in my body. Excitement is not an energy I like to create from. It's an energy I like to experience and play with and feel because it's so fun. I mean, it's excitement, right? But to let it move through and to notice if that excitement is anchored into my intentions. If it's connected, is it aligned? Is it resonant? Is it attuned? Is it going to actually deepen me into the journey that I'm on toward exactly what I want? So intention cuts through the noise. It calls out the bullshit. It highlights where you're still squirming around what you believe is possible for you. The more clear and anchored you are with your intention, the more free you are from the how. So this is ultimately the greatest outcome that you will experience with truly getting more intentional is surrender. Because surrender is the final step or practice before you can actually receive. And if there's still any inkling of needing to figure out the how, and I mean like a pretty consistent, constant inquiry to yourself of like, but how, that indicates that you're not surrendered, which is fine. But to help move this along and to step out of trying to figure out the how and into a place of surrender, which is just such a juicy, delightful, amazing place to be, is to get more clear on your intentions. Because again, intention is a knowing, it's a truth in your body. And if you know something in your body, your brain ain't got nothing on that shit. Like the brain's like, but how, is so much weaker than the body's knowing. Oh, I don't need to know how. I just know it is so. Right? And when you know it is so, also known as you have full belief, and again, I'm going to say belief is in the body. Sure, the brain can create thoughts and stories and ideas around belief, but it has to be anchored into the body. When you believe fully, you can surrender. And surrendering creates space and presence and a place that the invitation from your soul to the universe gets to host what you're ready to receive, right? Surrender is saying, I am ready. Here I am, and I have created this beautiful space to receive what is mine. The door is open, the candles are lit, the music's on, and I am just having a delightful time here with myself, doing whatever the fuck I want that feels amazing, that I'm inspired to do, just in my own energy, just fully ready. That's surrender. And when that space and that music and those candles and the scene and the window coverings and the rugs and the furniture and what you're doing and how you're dressed and how you feel is an exact reflection of your intention, what is for you can find you. Intention is the key to releasing control and stepping into surrender, which is what happens right before you receive. So we're going to move into the journey portion of this podcast. This is such a beautiful space. So I want to make sure that you are fully present here as we move in even deeper now into your body, into your subconscious mind, and take a journey here. So if you're not in a completely undistracted space, I encourage you to wait until you are. Come back. This will be here. And journey with me then. This journey is, I love talking about desire. And desire is going to be the gateway into our deeper reason why, which is what our intention is rooted in, is born from. So, whether you are clear on your desire or not, this will serve you because there's always more. And new information and details and awarenesses come through when you're willing to continuously step into the energetics of what your heart wants you to see and to know. And so this is going to be a very heart-centered experience right here. So get comfortable in a space where your heart is open. That might mean laying down to where your shoulders can drop and your chest can open, and you're free to take in nice deep breaths that fill up not just your belly, but your chest too. Or if you choose to be seated, just allow your spine to lengthen up so your neck and your head are pulled up and your pelvis sinks down and space is created between every vertebrae of your spine, allowing your shoulders to drop back. And as you breathe into your body, allowing your chest to open up more fully here now. And just find the rhythm of breathing that allows for a consistent and constant opening of your heart space. And if it helps, you can even put a hand on your heart, just gently placing a hand on your heart and greeting yourself in your heart here. Acquainting yourself with yourself, feeling your own love and your own compassion, your own presence with yourself here. You are it, my friend. You are it. You are all of it. So just treat yourself and treat your heart and treat your desire and treat your energy as if it's the most important thing in the world, because it is. Continue to breathe here. And when you're ready, just allow your awareness to come into your body on your breath. In your mind's eye, follow your breath into your body and find yourself in your heart center. And find the space in your heart center that is here right now, opening up for you to just settle into. An energetic space that is carved out right here just for you in this moment, that's uniquely presented and placed for you to step into right here so that you may receive and experience and open up to more. Beautiful. So sitting right here in this space, and notice before you, there's just a screen. It's this wide open blank screen. It's huge. And you're going to invite your heart. As you're sitting in your heart space, you're also seated here and allowing your heart to open. And as it's open, it's going to reveal to you on the screen, projecting out in front of you, your desires. Inviting the scene to open up here. And breathing and staying present with yourself. Just practicing non-attachment here. Just noticing what shows up on the screen. Oftentimes, what you see is symbolic. Just allowing yourself to experience what is opening up here for you now. Continue to breathe. And if it feels comfortable to you, you can even step into this scene. Step in and explore it even more. And ask the continuous inquiry, show me more of my desire. What else am I willing to see here around what I truly desire? What else do I need to know about my desires? Beautiful. And notice here if there's something that you're seeing or encountering and it doesn't quite make sense to you, ask, what do I need to know here about this? Tell me more about how this is related to my desire. And allow the energy, the object, whatever's showing up here to explain to you more. Beautiful. Finding a space within this space that is calling you to just settle in and sit, anchoring in a little bit more. And even if you're not in the scene, you're invited to just settle back into your body, settle in right here as you observe more of everything that's before you or around you. To allow yourself to get the felt experience that you're having right now, that's available to you right now as you're immersed more fully in your desire. What is the energetic felt experience right here in your body, allowing yourself to drop in? Breathing here. Allowing your body to show you more and more what your desired state feels like. What is opening up for you here? And you can even reach out. There's a dial right here that you can reach out to with your hands and just dialing it up a little bit to get even more of a experience of what this is in your body. Breathing. Allowing all the information about your desires to come through your body. It doesn't need to be captured in your conscious brain. However, you're receiving so much right now. Beautiful. And just using this dial again to dial up or down and finding where it feels the most comfortable for you to have and to hold this desired state right now. Moving that dial, anchoring it into the place that feels best. Beautiful. And then asking one more time, what else do I need to know about my desired state? What else do I need to know about my desires? Show me now. What else is here for me? Receiving, receiving, receiving. Beautiful. Taking a few moments to thank all of this for showing up for you today, thanking all the symbols, the energy, the people, the objects for showing up here, for all the information. Breathing yourself back, if you're in the scene, back into your heart space fully. Breathing yourself back into your heart space, back in your heart space. If your hand's not on your heart, putting your hand on your heart, maybe even on your belly right here. As you breathe in a little bit more, breathing more and bringing yourself out, back out with your breath, back out, fully occupying your entire physical body. Coming back, lining back up with your physical body here. Thanking yourself, thanking your body for stepping into this work today. Thanking your heart for being willing and open to show you more and to be guiding you. Beautiful. On your next couple breaths, just moving your body, rolling your shoulders back, moving your hips, stretching your arms and legs, wiggling your fingers and toes. And when you're ready, opening your eyes to a soft gaze. Welcome back, beautiful soul. So, I strongly encourage you to pick up a notebook and a pen here. You can also go into the show notes and download the integration questions for this journey. You are invited to just write out and really go for it with everything that you were shown that you desired, and just really put pen to paper